All right, welcome back to Panache Productions. We've already talked about hunting early season turkeys. We've talked about hunting off the roost. We've talked about hunting mid morning as well as afternoon. So today we're going to cover hunting late season turkeys, which is probably my favorite time of year or favorite time of the season to turkey hunt. Um, and we're going to talk about why that is. Um, Colonel Tom Kelly once said that peak turkey goblin's when the oak leaves are the size of a squirrel ear. Um, kind of used that for what it's worth. Um, so basically, here in the state of South Carolina, I don't know any other states data on this, but I do know our state, South Carolina. Um, Basically, our peak turkey goblin is from about April 2nd to around, I don't know, the end of April pretty much is when turkey goblin increases. And I've always heard that around like April 10th to like the 20th, 22nd, somewhere along in there, it's always the best week of turkey hunting. I feel like that's probably true. Um, and I would consider late season to be, um, I don't know, like the 22nd throughout. And our turkey season ends this year, May the 3rd. So covering late season turkeys. So what makes hunting late season turkeys easier, in my opinion? Well, for one, um, the split off, and what I mean by split off is normally by mid-April or so, most of the hens that the birds were originally with at the beginning of the year, they're going to be sitting on their nest. If they're not sitting on their nest, which there isn't going to be very many that aren't, um, they're going to be hens that are either have a failed nest and are going back to breed, or maybe hens that are still currently laying eggs and going back and forth to their nest. Um, Obviously, gobblers are going to be looking for hens. They're going to be fired up. They're going to be ready to breed, and there's not going to be very many hens for them to breed. So, perfect opportunity. And again, it's in my opinion when turkey hunting, uh, really anywhere gets to be at its peak is moving from mid to late season. Um, Also, you've got your foliage working for you. It's filming this video is end of March here in South Carolina, um, and it's starting to green up pretty much everywhere. So by end of April, you've pretty much got good, full cover pretty much everywhere in the state. So you got that working for you. You're able to maneuver a lot easier. You're not going to get seen as much when they come in. You're going to have good cover, especially with someone like us. We're having to lug a camera around and hide it and all that kind of stuff. Having a good concealment and good cover is super important, and that's obviously a lot easier as you move into the later part of the spring, into May and late April. So, so some tactics that we like to use late season. Um, this is the time of year we will start making permanent setups. We'll go in somewhere we know there's going to be turkeys, where that's a field, a burn, a cutover, where they're roosting, whatever it may be. And we'll sit there and call every 15, 20, 30 minutes or so, just trying to get one to gobble that we can work with. And normally this time of year, and I don't want to, jump at any conclusions here or make you, you know, thanks, be overly optimistic. A lot of times you can get a bird to gobble, post fly down, in the mid morning, late afternoon, or whatever. Um, you can get a bird to gobble. You're gonna have a pretty good chance of killing that turkey. If they're answering you that time of day pretty quickly, you're gonna probably kill him. So, late season, we'll walk around a lot more. We'll be a lot more aggressive. Aggression, as I've talked about in our early season turkeys. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you go give it a listen. Um, to me, mid to late season is where we start really pushing the issue, and that's just because season's running out, time's running out. Um, you don't really have to worry as much about spooking them. If you spook one late season, oh well. Try me the next day. If you spook one early in the season when you got time to keep after that bird, it's probably going to hurt you in the long run. But if you're pushing it late season, you kind of just doing what you have to do at that point, and you don't really worry about it as much. If you spook a turkey, spook a turkey. So um, aggression intensifies. Turkeys are going to be easier to kill, a lot better foliage, less hens to deal with. Um, so again, I think it's super important to note that you know all these things can differ, in different areas that you're in. And late season turkey hunting is not easy by any means. Turkey hunting isn't easy anywhere. I don't care where you're at. It's obviously harder in the southeastern United States. But as the season goes on, it gets a little easier. One of the few flaws to hunting turkeys late season is the heat. It's no secret that once you start getting about May, it starts getting pretty warm, especially again in the southeast. Obviously, in the Midwest and out in the Northwest or in the Colorado Rockies or even up in the upper United States or the southeastern part of the United States. That wouldn't be southeastern. That'd be northeastern. Up in the northeastern part of the United States, it's not going to be quite an issue in the May. Maybe in the June, it would be. But here in South Carolina, it's starting getting pretty warm in May. I think last year around May the 3rd or 4th, we filmed a podcast. Maybe it was like May the 8th. I don't remember, but I do remember listening to it and hearing that it was 93 degrees that day. So and we have a youth season this year in May on May the 10th. So it's super warm. So make sure you dress accordingly. Obviously, I think my favorite go-to when it comes to a cool or warm weather gear is the Mossy Oak Tybee Flex pants and just some sort of long sleeve shirt that isn't going to kill me from being overly hot. You obviously have to worry about ticks all turkey season, but as you get into summer, ticks get way worse. So using I think it's permethrin. Don't hold me to it. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And obviously just regular bug spray or a Thermacell. I mean, if you don't have a Thermacell or bug spray and you're walking into the woods in April or May, especially in a swamp, then you're going to get eaten alive, to be blunt about it. So there you go. Hunting late season turkeys, in my opinion, again, this is just based off my opinion, my experiences, is by far my favorite time to turkey hunt. It seems to me to be a little bit easier. It seems to be a little bit easier to work with. The only thing is I hate the heat. I cannot stand the months of June, July, August, and September, and that kind of gives me the ick thinking about later in the turkey season that hey, that's about to get here. But nonetheless, you're still turkey hunting at that point in the year, and if you do it right and you kind of stay after them, you can certainly be successful. So hopefully you learned something, and we'll catch y'all on the next episode.